What's going on, everybody? So welcome to Patreon Hangout number 4, the final one for September. Cutting it close again. Sorry. It's been a busy goddamn week. It's been absolutely ridiculous. How's everybody doing today?
Doing pretty good. Finally off work.
Yeah?
Yeah. Pretty good.
Yeah, it's...
Warhammer 2 is out.
I just gotta say, fuck people who keep adding shit to the end of your job.
To the end of which job?
There's a builder at his house, and he wanted a whole new lighting setup, new pendants, new can lights, new everything.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going in there, and he's like, you guys do pretty good electrical work. I need you to do this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And I'm sitting here, and I'm just like, I'm going to end up charging you about $2,000 right here, buddy.
Jesus.
Well, the only thing I can come close to that is I work in a restaurant, so like we got a couple people in there. Then out of nowhere, 25 people walk in, all the same group, and demand to sit at the same table. So we had to take 8 tables, push them into barely fitting in our space, by the way, and had to deal with these people for an hour and a half. I'm just lucky my break happened right as they decided to get up and leave. So I'm like, I'm not cleaning that table, deuces.
Nah, man, I feel the pain, man. Whoa.
Yeah.
It's worse when you get a big group come in, like maybe 30 minutes to an hour before you actually close.
Mm.
I've had a couple people come in that point. They get cussed out. That's.
Yeah.
We block in their stuff.
I was on call. I was on call, and it's like just after 6. I was getting some groceries, and then actually had a very important call come in, and actually had to go back to the office. In the end, I was out of the office at 7:30 instead of 6. That's when you go like, yeah, this shit kind of sucks. But hey, it's work, you know.
Oh man, yeah. I never really had a big problem with like people coming in late in most of the jobs that I worked. The one that I always had a big problem with was I worked at a restaurant. And they do breakfast, but then like we would transition at 11 o'clock to no more breakfast, only lunch and then dinner. And I had a problem with the waitresses because I was cooking at the time. And I kept getting these damn waitresses that would put in breakfast orders after 11 o'clock. And like at 11, like that is the cutoff. If you're talking to them and taking the order as it strikes 11, that's fine. But you don't then go to the next table and take a breakfast order. Like you just don't. You don't do it. That's because we wait and we count it down to 11 o'clock hits. 3 minutes after 11, like we pull all the breakfast stuff and like things that need to be thrown away get thrown away, and you have to like remake a bunch of shit if you need it, if somebody orders it. So this one waitress, she kept doing it, and she was used to like getting her way because she's really cute, you know. So she would always try and pull the, oh, but please. I'm like, I don't give a fuck, dude. No, absolutely not. So,
I was the same guy. I was the food expo at this place. If you fuck with me, you just didn't get your food.
Yeah. I mean,
I put your ticket last.
This one fucking day, she does it twice in a row. It's now like 11:07 that she gets the second one in. And I'm like, fine, but this has to be the last one. And then 2 minutes later, I hear a ticket starting to print out, and I hear her like running back, going, I'm sorry, but. And as soon as I hear that but, I grab a big old fucking French bread, and I come running out behind the fucking kitchen, tearing off huge chunks and fucking chucking it at her and beating her fucking. No. Absolutely. And like everybody in the restaurant can hear me doing this, and somebody can even see me. This crazy fucking chef running on me. No! What do you want me to do? Tell them no.
Actually, the inverse of that happens the other night where I work. It was 9 o'clock. We closed at 9. The only reason there were still people in the restaurant was because they come in at 9:40 or 8:45, and they were still eating. So we had all cleaned up. I had done cleaned the bathroom, took the trash up, the whole 9. The grills were shut down and clean. Fire was off. The boss and the owner are gonna let these people walk in at 9:15 almost.
Oh no!
So the waitress turns to him. She looks and says, you can take their orders. He's like, no, that's not my job. That's your job. She goes, no, I'm leaving. Throws her
Uh-oh.
apron in his face and smooth walks out.
Oh,
And I'm like,
That is
I'm
rough.
off. So like, I'm already off. So deuces. I'm just taking my sweet tea and I'm going.
Yeah.
That's basically what my boss would do too. Like I worked in a grocery store. It wasn't, too bad. But every summer, you had the fucking from opening to closing shift, and every time at 6 p.m. we close. He would every time go like, "Oh, but there's just one more guy," and turns out no, it was like a busload of tourists.
Oh God.
That was his idea of just one guy.
Yeah,
Ugh.
Every fucking time.
What's going on? I know.
Hey, how are things with people?
Hey,
Pretty
man.
good. Pretty good.
How you doing?
I spent 5 hours today watching that Vietnam documentary by Ken Burns.
Ooh, how is it?
It is really, really good.
Right on.
I mean, if you don't really know much about Vietnam, and most people don't because, school sucks.
Yeah.
It's really eye-opening to know that, like, in 1964, before the Marines were even deployed, that you had top White House officials saying, yeah, we can't win.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I took a whole class on the history of the Vietnam War, and it was fascinating. Really fascinating.
I've always been, even as a small kid, I was always fascinated by military history. So I'm like well versed from like the beginnings of like medieval warfare, how Viking tactics, how the Spartans operated, the samurai mostly because they're awesome.
Yeah.
But the Vietnam War is the same thing with the war in the Middle East. You're never going to win as long as you follow a set of rules and your enemy does not. You're just not going to win. Like, we're going to use women and kids to blow you up. We know you don't kill them, or you try not, you do your best not to. But guess what?
You need to, you need to adapt to your enemy. You can't just adopt a doctrine and think that it'll always work against every enemy.
Oh, they have a whole
rule outside of rules is that if you can break the mold, I mean, generally you can win or you get a success.
Yeah, it's about strategy though, not just on the guys' boots on the ground, right?
Well, it's also how you define victory. They go into the whole section, like right in the beginning, how Westmoreland's using body count, and everyone's like, "What the hell is that supposed to mean, body count?"
Oh yeah. Well, if you look at body count in like World War II, then by any means the Germans should have won on the Eastern Front a lot, but they were in constant retreat after a while.
Well, you didn't prepare for the Russian mindset, and definitely not that freaking Russian winter. Jesus Christ.
No.
Well,
And the funny thing is, the Russians kept using that same strategy. It just works for them. Hey, let the enemy, take a little bit of ground. Fucking when the winter hits, just go in there and stomp them out.
Well, it's the most classic blunder. Never get involved in a land war in Asia.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like people like to call Afghanistan the graveyard of empires. I beg to differ because, well, Russia, Napoleon, the Third Reich, they have a bigger claim to fame.
I swear to God, man, I'm addicted to the fucking hashtag MythCon hashtag. I have been watching that shit all day, and I am so happy.
I have not heard of that.
I saw some stuff happening on with Sargon and the guy who walked out, and I'm like,
yeah.
Why do you do that when you're on stage? Like, do that in a live stream. That's already childish enough. You don't pull that shit on stage, right? I mean, what the hell?
You're not supposed to. I mean, the thing is, the guy had an amazing opportunity. Yeah. All he needed to do was have a discussion with Sargon and try and win people in the audience to his side. But he didn't do that. He came out and basically was like, "You're trash, and everybody here who is here to see you is trash." Like, what are you doing? That's insane.
Yeah, you're insulting the audience. That your point is to convince them of you being right, and the only thing you're doing is you are all trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of got behind the ball? Could you explain this to me? Like, what is this? Like going on?
It's a conference where they like to challenge ideas. It's primarily like an atheist conference, and in it there was a huge controversy because they invited Sargon, they invited Armored Skeptic, they invited Shu, and like people started freaking out about it. They tried to deplatform. What's up, Brad? And then
Hi.
Sargon was paired up with this feminist guy, and Sargon was really looking forward to it. He's like, it seems like it's going to be a really good chat. This should be great. I'm looking forward to it. And the guy just completely lost his shit, was an intolerable jackass to everybody. And then they were like, well, it's time for the Q&A section. He was like, I'll tell you when I'm ready to do Q&A to the people who run MythCon. And then once it hit like 2:40 or whatever the time it was, he was like, I'm done with this. This is 2:40. That's when I said that's when they told me we were going to stop. So I'm done. Goodbye. And he just got up and like walked off. Just fucking walked off the stage.
All I can really say is weak.
Do you, honestly speaking, would you like to go and try to match intellect and wit with Sargon?
I would.
I would appreciate the
I have
challenge.
to put a
but I
lot
know
of
it's
research in.
terrible.
Maybe.
Sargon's a nice guy, but it's not like he's some sort of Christopher Hitchens. I mean, no offense to the guy, but he's made a lot of mistakes in the past, and even from what I've seen so far. So it's not like he's untouchable in this.
No,
so if this guy would have kept his cool, he probably would have done a lot better.
It depends on the issue, really. I mean, I don't think Sargon's right on everything, and if you disagree. And actually, a debate, you're not supposed to be convincing the person across from you. You're supposed to be convincing the audience.
Yeah.
And mainly what I mean by that is, like, his intellect is not, it's not like Neil deGrasse Tyson or Christopher Hitchens or that kind of level, but his wit is definitely up there with some of the best. He is very quick-witted and sometimes very good with his on-the-fly jokes and...
Oh, yeah, that for sure. I mean, one of the things... when you look at all the great names, is often that they've been doing this like since they were out of high school, basically, or even before that. People like Hitchens were basically educated from the start to debate like this, and you're never going to reach that kind of level if you're just coming onto the scene like that. So compared to people like that, I mean, he's fantastic, if you ask me. I mean, I'm a shit debater anyway, so what do I know?
You just need a topic that you're well researched. I'll kick the crap out of Neil deGrasse Tyson if he takes the position that the Earth is flat.
I don't know. You should hear his
Sure.
opinions on those people. Like, it's kind of funny to hear Neil deGrasse Tyson, who will go and tear science and physics and movies completely apart, like Star Wars and gravity and all that kind of stuff. Like, even he admits that it's pretty much pointless to argue with flat earthers.
Yeah, it really is. It really honestly is.
My point was more of like, if he takes a ridiculous thing where facts are on my side, I mean, I'll beat him. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
But if I go up against someone again on 16th century French poetry, I'm going to get my ass kicked because I don't know anything about it.
I'm getting a kick out of it too. Apparently there's some kids going to MythCon. Some of them were wearing Kekistan t-shirts. I just saw a picture of a kid with a Meme Jihad Now shirt. It's fucking great, dude. Super great. But like some people were like, there's an alt-right presence. Kekistan is here. Oh my God.
Oh
no. Too good, man. Too good. I love it. I love everything about it.
Hopefully someone puts together some kind of like a YouTube video or... because I didn't see any of it.
Like a compilation of all the silly shit?
Okay, so apparently what happened was because of Chrissy Winters, Dan Errol, and all those people trying to deplatform the whole convention, they ended up having to increase security. I think it probably was because their insurance company was like, you need to have more security because this is sounding kind of fucked up. So they had to get more security. So they didn't want anybody streaming the event so that they would have exclusive rights to the recording of the event to be able to monetize themselves so that they could make up the difference for the security. which is kind of like, meh, but I also understand. I think they should have. I think they should have hooked up with me, gotten me a free ticket, and I would have ran their whole fucking stream, and I would have hoarded them out so good for some dope ass super chats and Streamlabs and shit. We would have gotten that security paid,
and I'm like,
we would have gotten that security paid for in an hour, easy.
Yeah, I'm sure you'd make a great pimp for that convention.
I think so too.
Honestly, though, you whoring them out would probably just be a pain in the ass.
Yeah. I'd do it for a free ticket.
Hashtag bad puns.
Next time.
Oh, I get it.
You could show them how anal is an art.
But it is. There's an art to it.
Now I have this idea about the crazy feminists with their free bleeding art, and I'm like, anal is an art. Oh no, please don't.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Actually,
no. Now that my main channel is strike free, which that happened 3 days ago. No more strikes on my main channel.
Hey.
That means I can do 360 streams again. I'm really excited.
Oh yeah.
Actually, if you think anal art is bad, there actually is a type of art that's even worse. It involves male bodily fluids and black lights.
No, a little non sequitur. You know, back in the day, British intelligence was doing a little thing. I'm talking like World War II, World War I. They actually put funding towards invisible ink, and the base for the ink was semen. So one of these spies would jerk it into one of their pens, write the message, and then someone take a blue light.
Wow.
Wait, hold
That's
on. No. I want to point something out. Are you telling me that the MI5 or MI6, whichever one it was back in the day, tried to make invisible ink out of semen when the Aryan Brotherhood has been sending messages out of America's most secure prison by pissing in a cup and using a toothpick to write in?
Wow.
And all you do is turn it on the light
The
bulb.
second one, but I can tell you about the first one from my spies jerking off for secret messages. Yeah. Here's the thing.
All I can think of is Simba.
Oh no! you monster!
Oh, strong.
Oh jeez.
We're horrible people.
Yeah.
Also, if you want to get a bunch of Tariq and Sheik fans and a bunch of like super SJWs mad, simply point out the fact that the prison's most brutal white supremacist gang was founded because blacks and Mexicans were attacking whites during the civil rights movement.
Hey, I know. I think we're picking up like background wind or something.
Yeah.
It's from.
I know. He's outside.
Yeah, buddy's walking around.
Just checking outside.
Man, it looks like a nice day wherever you're at, man. Are you still traveling?
No, I'm done. I'm home actually right now. I am house sitting and
so you're not home.
Watching that guy if you can see him.
Aw, puppers.
What is he? Is he a beagle?
He's a mutt, but there's definitely some beagle in there.
Oh man, I really, really want to get another dog, but can't do it, not with my lease. That's why I need to own. I need to own a house, god damn it.
Not just that, like apartments aren't really good either. I want a dog so bad. What I want is a bulldog. Great big lazy dog. Sit on the couch with you.
I travel too much. I can't have a dog.
Dude, does anybody want a pit bull lab mix? I'll give her to you.
Well, dogs need a yard, and I live in a fucking apartment, man.
This dog just sits on a couch and watches TV.
Get one of those chihuahuas so you can actually like get into a bag and ride along on the bike.
No, thank you. My mom would breed those. I'm not fucking with you. She'd breed the quote unquote the blue chihuahua, which like it has the it's like a very light like black color, and apparently they're worth like $4,000 a dog.
Whew.
Yeah.
I am thinking about for my bike putting a flag staff off the back of it and like have the Kekistani flag there and go through cities.
Wait, will that mean you're the Kekistani Midnight Rider?
What?
Yeah, yeah, I can see it. I
like how somebody got that.
But I wouldn't repaint the bike. That's just
No.
I don't know, man.
Green?
We gotta pimp up that bike. Come on now. I'm not kidding, man. I'm thinking of like some like light like butane sort of thing going on, where like flames are actually coming out of the bag.
You know,
I don't think
I hear
I don't-
Paul Senior has free time these days.
Well,
Oh,
was a chopper.
There's an OCC joke.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't seen that in like a decade, so I have no idea.
I just remembered. I want to make sure I know where that fucking 360 camera actually is. Yes, I do. Okay. Actually, here, I'll be right back. 1 second. Right.
It's in the bedroom for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
I thought we weren't going to talk about that.
He has a backlog on a different channel.
Well, how
Talk
else?
about
how else do you
chatterbait or
play-
something?
If Monsanto doesn't give him his checks, he's threatening to release it.
I mean, I can imagine those weird Pornhub videos where it's like 360 camera and everything's being
Yeah.
recorded, and it's
What do
just
you
like the one guy who's already finished off, but like he just keeps watching the video and he's like looking around the room. Like, oh, that's a nice painting.
Yeah. I got this thing. So I actually like
Which one is
Look-
that?
that's the Rift.
Yeah.
And
Someone has
honestly,
money?
like 360 porn vids are weird. It just looks
They
weird to
fuck
me.
you up.
Yeah, it's like
They-
either
In more ways
the
than
room
one,
looks
for instance.
fucking huge. It's like a normal ceiling is like 10 meters high, or if the guy is lying down looking up at a girl, the woman looks like a giantess, like staring down at you, and I'm like, no, this is not what I want, please.
So like a
I'm not
Scandinavian one?
entirely tall for this country already. I don't need larger women.
Wait, which country?
I'm from Holland.
Oh, of course.
He's
Yeah.
the Dutchie and he likes his ovens.
You know,
Oh, apparently.
Tattoo on show.
Yeah, but no, I had to. I had to take the t-shirt off because it's still healing and it's rubbing against it. I was like, ah, yeah.
Still looking
It's the lovely tour.
so you can show nipples here. I mean, you're not on Twitch.
I know that's fine. Whatever. Yeah, no, I'm very happy with it. I'm really happy with it. I like it a lot.
Yeah,
That's great.
nice.
My favorite part is how pissed off people are that I got it. Oh my god.
Really? Why?
Oh my god. Oh my god. So many people who are like, how are you gonna explain that to your fucking children and your grandchildren, dude? Like, what do you...
It's easy. It's
What?
called YouTube.
I
I
mean,
was gonna say, just show
Yeah,
on
because the
YouTube.
internet's gonna be gone in like 20 years.
yeah, or something. Fuck, man. I was
But
joking
even
with,
then,
I was joking with the tattoo artist because it's got a keyboard, a mouse, and shit, and we don't know what we're gonna be using in the next few decades. But I was talking to him, I'm like, I imagine I'm probably gonna have to explain this tattoo in the future, kind of like if an old man was explaining to a millennial right now his tattoo of a rotary telephone. You know?
Back in my day.
Wait,
Yeah.
people don't get what?
well,
You have to explain that.
Well, maybe super young kids might
Yeah.
not have ever seen a
Sister
rotary
knows.
Well,
phone.
it's-
I used to
like-
like one.
yeah, but like you see the kind of kids react thing about tape recorders and even CDs. And
I
I'm
mean,
like,
that-
yeah, but they're kids. They're even teenagers are
I
not.
still
familiar
have
with this
CDs.
shit. That's
Like,
because
I'm a
they're dumb
teenager.
teenagers.
Wait, hold on, no. I'm gonna stick up for my fellow teenagers here. I'm 19 years old and I still have like 5 CD cases full of random CDs.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I just got to correct you. You said dumb teenagers. I think the problem isn't dumb, but American.
Considering how
Shots fired.
I mean, come on. I am not wrong. I am not wrong, and you all know it. Shitlords.
Okay, if you show me a video of Norwegian kids react to Led Zeppelin and they actually know who it is, and one of them doesn't
Dude.
try to say Stairway to Heaven's boring,
Yeah.
I will agree with that.
Dude, I went to something called a folk high school, right next door, like just 10 meters away from my front door at the time, was a kindergarten,
Oh
a
no.
musical kindergarten.
Oh, no.
Oh boy.
Musical?
They played
Oh, dear.
Sex Pistols. The kids knew what Sex Pistols was.
Oh.
Nice.
That's pretty
Two
rad.
and up. So checkmate.
Well,
you
I'm
go.
gonna raise
Well,
my kids
if I-
listening to Steel Panther, so I win.
Got him.
I actually
No.
like Steel
No.
Panther, so
So I was brought up on King Crimson.
Steel Panthers honestly are not, their music is really not that bad. I
equate it to 80s hair metal without any innuendos. It's just out and out, like
Yep.
you know what it is, and it's hysterical. That's what I like. They're funny.
It's sort of the lack of subtlety there that puts me off it, though.
Come on, they have a song called "Glory Hole." For fuck's sake.
That's not a
I don't know,
positive
You
for me.
you can't beat the band whose literally their name is Orgy.
I don't know because there's
Yeah.
escalators, War, Cuttlefish.
You're more fucked up. I was able to steal that band from iTunes, my dad's iTunes account.
iTunes.
Man.
Back in my day, we had Napster.
Back in mine, we had LimeWire.
Back in my day.
Oh, come
we
on, you're
had-
younger than me. Come on.
Actually, I was gonna
Back
say
in
back
Jeff's
in my
day.
day. Back in my day, there was F serves on IRC, but actually before that, there were fucking BBSs and shit.
Oh,
so,
yeah, true.
yeah.
Oh, that's true. I remember
Well,
downloading Wolfenstein 3D in just chunks of every like couple levels.
Yep. Oh yeah.
God.
Okay.
Well, see, I can immediately say I listen to worse music than all of you, and none of I can guarantee almost none of you will get it. I grew up listening to David Allan Coe's X-rated hits.
Oh. Yeah, that's
Been around.
that's pretty gnarly. That's pretty gnarly. Yeah.
Okay. So, in my childhood, this is my childhood. The fucking metal childhood of Norway.
Mm.
We have something.
Please
called
tell me
the
you're a fan of Body.
Court Festival. Every year. I've always been there. Well, throughout my life.
Mm.
Jeff would probably remember a time where it wasn't.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
they had, what was it, back in 2004? They had a band called The Cum Shots.
Nice.
It gets better.
I hope
It
they're
gets
on YouTube.
better.
Man. I might check them out.
There is this kind of like very niche thing. It's kind of like
Why-
Greenpeace called
Okay.
Fuck for Forest.
Oh God.
They decided,
What?
you know what? We're gonna team up with the Cum Shots. We're actually gonna have sex on stage.
Nice.
Sweet.
Well, I stepped out for a
It
second.
was
What
shut
happened?
down pretty fast.
See, my
Wow.
skill. What I think of as Norwegian metal, I tend to think of like bands like Mayhem and Vadi Vilkanes. I think of those guys, so that completely is much more normal. Considering Vadi stabbed somebody 28 times, burned down like 16 different churches, and smiled when he was given the maximum sentence in Norway.
Yeah, no, honestly, I've never heard of those bands that you were talking about.
What? How do you not know of Burzum? It's a one-man band. It's fantastic.
Mm.
It's a genre affectionately known by my kind of people as true Norwegian black metal.
I'm trying
Whenever
to
someone. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, black metal isn't my thing. So.
Uh,
Metal is, but not black metal. It's, yeah.
Yeah.
Even though I know how to growl.
My favorite one-man band is that one guy. That dude's amazing. Holy shit. Has anybody heard of that one guy?
No.
No.
Who, Arian?
Okay.
I'm kind of out there with my jazz, so
So he
No.
let me find this.
Just while
he
you're looking.
built his own instrument. His own
Oh,
instrument.
right. No, I've heard of this guy.
Yeah,
I have
and
heard of
he's
this guy.
pretty incredible. Let me share this with you guys really quick. It's pretty amazing. Full screen, that one, yeah. Okay. So this is from his music video Mustaches, and like his instrument, where is it? There it is. This is his weird fucking crazy ass instrument that he built. Like this thing is just absolutely bizarre.
Do you want to know a great one-man band? He does a lot of pop covers. He makes them like metal or rock. Is Leo Marcali. His YouTube channel is Frog Leap Studios. This guy can literally play almost any instrument. Drums, bass, cello, violin, flute, guitar. He does vocals, mixes, masters, all of his own stuff. He's insanely creative.
But can you play the nose recorder?
He has played a recorder before.
Oh,
There's one guy who's like the big dude in metal. No one most people who listen to metal just listens, haven't heard of him, but everyone who plays metal has heard of him. I'm surprised Erdanya doesn't know who he is.
what? I have no idea. I'm shit at music.
His band name is Arian.
Arian?
Like I typed on the side there.
Iron. Okay.
His name is actually Arjen Lucassen.
Hmm.
He's Dutch. He's one of those. Like he called up Bruce Dickens, and Bruce Dickens went, "Oh my God, me? You want me?"
I doubt that.
That's cool.
But yeah,
Speaking of
he
wonder
does everything.
bands,
Apparently, there are a fair number of Dutch artists outside of the country that we have generally no idea about.
What about Within Temptation?
Yeah.
Or it's just me. I'm an uncultured swine according to palate. So
Two of my favorite bands actually come from the Netherlands in Epica and Within Temptation.
oh
Both
yeah,
have been on his albums.
nice.
I mean, the guy
Crazy.
has a YouTube channel.
I think Nightwish.
All his albums are on there. You can go listen to it right now.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah.
It's great.
I'll check.
It's a metal opera.
So basically, like
In the sense that
Nightwish with
there's a
Park
song.
Henson. Or Cahoon, whatever that name is.
It's starting to itch. Son of a bitch.
Oh,
Don't scratch it.
I know. I'm not
Don't
gonna.
scratch
Don't
I'm not
scratch
gonna
it.
scratch it. I'm not gonna scratch it.
back a little bit. Speaking of one-man bands, sort of on an interest of an autistic level, there's a guy named goes by Winter Gaten. He made a machine completely out of wood and a little bit of metal, and it's a marble thing. And he just turns a crank, hits a few levers, and it makes its own song. And these,
It's Vintergatan.
yeah.
It's not one guy.
Oh, I mean, like it's
It's a
seems
team.
like it's a team.
It's a team. It's a full band. Like there are 4 people, I think.
Well, the
But
videos
they're
I'm seeing is just
pretty
it's just
fucking
him
amazing.
with the one machine and
Yeah,
like
because
a bunch of those machines.
I don't know if he built that alone, but it definitely doesn't require more than one person to play that one.
If it's like alone, it's like crazy
Yeah.
to like weaponize it to autism to that one thing. Oh, and I love it.
All,
Absolutely
all
love
their
it.
stuff is like that.
Now.
It's
He's a
pretty
new
neat, but
thing
it's
now.
it's pretty neat, but it's sort of
He's-
just an elaborate music box.
Pretty much.
Yeah, right now he's touring the world, and like things like every Monday he gives a video where he showcases like a very old giant sound machine.
The Winter
And
Storm.
I love it.
I found some really weird bands. Like I found a Finnish metal band who dress up like Japanese oni and basically makes samurai metal. Is the best way to describe it.
The Finns have the weirdest metal. They really do. There's one guy. There's one Finnish metal band that dresses up in nothing and plays.
Yeah, but the
Apparently
Red Hot Chili
it's called
Peppers did that.
industrial.
So.
I mean, I'm not a huge fan of industrial metal, but then again, back in
G.G. Allen
high
did this
school, I was a power metal guy in high school.
I'm all about
Like
power metal.
Galneris, Blind Guardian,
Yeah.
Deerian.
I was raised mainly on Pantera.
I was raised almost predominantly on Skinny Puppy. Oh,
Okay, so
Insane Clown Posse.
my
Oh,
yeah.
You can understand why I hated music until I was like 15.
Poor
might-
Red. Poor
I-
Red. You just traumatized her with ICP.
okay, so
Oh,
I grew up.
shut up.
I grew up
Ah,
not knowing shit about music.
Yep.
Did you
My
guys hear
dad-
about their giant like rally recently?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty
that was
amazing.
great. I love it. I love it.
That's a lot of Fago, by the way. Actually,
never
no,
made that much
I
money
watched-
before.
I watched that. That was. I actually watched that Saints episode with Barbara, where you
yeah,
had that on.
Oh yeah.
That was great.
That was pretty badass.
That speech was fucking fantastic.
It was incredible. I mean, it was obviously like they were saying some incredibly stupid shit, but like
Yeah.
the core of what they were saying was awesome. Super awesome.
It's also great that you pointed it out as well. It's like normally when people go, you should be proud of, and they go like, oh no, don't go there. And this guy is just, you should be proud of, being yourself and just have a wank in it.
Well,
Yeah, dude.
like I've known a couple juggalos, and that's kind of like the whole appeal of it is because like their whole community thing, whatever you want to call it, is basically just a bunch of misfits that they'll get together and it's all cool. Like people who most of the time won't talk to anybody because they're weird and smell funny, and they get together and everybody's weird and smells funny.
I don't know what the smell funny, but my first
How
girlfriend
do you
in high
know
school was she was a huge
Because
fan.
I've known. Let's just say I know a guy who was dumb enough to suck the flame out of a lighter into a can of Axe and hold it while it explodes. And he also would take girls' earrings and stick them through his nipples.
Ow.
Oh.
Right?
How?
Oh, yeah.
I don't have a problem with people being different. I just sometimes wish they'd be different somewhere else.
It's like, be different over there. I'm going to stay here, but you go over there and be different.
Don't worry,
Oh,
he had
yeah.
pierced nipples, so it was fine.
No, it's pre-pierced. Okay.
It was a pre-made hole. It's fine.
Well, I guess
Hopefully they didn't take the earrings back.
Oh, some of them did. They
Oh,
never
that's
put them
weird.
back in. They just took
Well,
the earrings back.
That's one test. It's like, do they
Oh.
take him back? Oh, yeah.
I guess they're lucky they didn't have a pierced taint.
Ah,
Hey,
No,
having a pierced taint was awesome, man. It was super awesome. I never even realized that I had it most of the time. I'd forget that it was even there.
I'll pass.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like you notice it when you sit down. Or when
I mean, dude, you know how every now and then when you sit down, all of a sudden you like sit on your nuts, right?
No.
It happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
Never had that issue.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, it happens.
it happens every now and then, but it's pretty rare, right? Well, with this, I would feel actually sitting on my nuts more than I would sit awkwardly enough that I could actually feel the ring because
Weird.
it just moved
What about
with
Prince Albert? That's always the one that like is
no
known.
thanks.
is that the next Patreon goal?
Yeah.
Oh my god, no way. No way.
Yes, yes.
No fucking way.
Let's
No,
ask
dude.
Mims.
With
Let's ask Mims.
Okay, tattoo then.
I mean, a tattoo, a dick tattoo? Oh.
Yeah, it has to say "Lucky You."
That would be-
Oh, God, no.
Tattoo, though.
Oh, God.
That when you get hard, it expands. The skin stretches. So, do you have to get the tattoo while it's hard?
No.
Actually have it be a thing, or
Take
do
all
you
of
have-
Viagra first.
Well, okay. So the thing is, like, when you tattoo, especially on softer skin, you basically have to take the skin and stretch to get
Yeah.
it as nice and tight as possible, and then tattoo. So basically, you are tattooing it so that when you get hard, it will look like how it's supposed to look.
Actually, I have a great idea for this, Jeff. You
Yeah.
need to get a tattoo of the upper body of a dog on your stomach, and its tail to be your penis. So you're like, "Hey, ladies, you want to see the dog wag his tail?"
No, I'm not gonna do that. No,
I remember
I'm not gonna do that.
I think this is quite enough then.
I mean, it'd be great for comedy.
So what if I ever do put a ring back into the taint, then because I mean it hasn't healed up. I'm thinking I'm just gonna like buy another one and put it through. I actually did already buy one, but I can't open it. I need to go to a Pierce's to fucking get it loose. But anyway, if I do put one back in, I have been considering for many years now getting just a very small little tattoo of a hand grenade on my taint.
That's clever. Actually, here's a
Oh,
company
pin.
called Grunt Style that make a shirt that's a grenade, and around the pin is a tag that says "I pull out."
Oh,
there's
that's pretty good. That's
there's
pretty
a
good.
there's a place in downtown Salem that like once a year does like an under an inch and a half tattoo for $30.
Huh.
Yeah. I mean, they might charge a little bit more having to be like that close to my taint, but
I don't know. It depends on the artist, man. Some of them are pretty weird people.
yeah,
For all you know, they
some
might
are.
give you a discount for letting you work on your taint.
Right? That's always been my question. Like the
You're
dudes
in
who
good
like
faith.
chicks who get under boob tattoos, like that has to be like cheaper than the dude who'd get the same thing.
Yeah.
On that taint piercing, how does a swamp ass factor in for that?
It really doesn't, honestly. It really doesn't. Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, like the thing is, the only problem I ever had with it was if you get like if you sweat a lot but it's so hot that it like dries and you get that dry, brittle, irritated like ass rash feeling. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you'll kind of get that around it, and it just feels a little pissed off. But it's not like anything more than normal.
I know for a fact I can't do it because I have a thing called what's it called?
Dignity.
That too. Not quite there yet, but no. It's oh wow.
Self-respect.
Permanent inflammation.
Oh, permanent inflammation.
In the general area, let's just say.
See, I have this great thing called if something like that gets anywhere near that area, they happen to turtle, so it's not gonna happen.
Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, that was like the least painful piercing I ever got to. It didn't hurt at all. Yeah, no, I didn't.
It's probably the worst.
Which was the worst?
Nose probably is my guess.
No, dude, my fucking nipples. Those were awful. I screamed. I literally screamed like he fucking stabbed through.
Really?
Yeah!
God, Jesus, what the hell?
So just for the record, how many holes have you made in your body willingly?
Hang on, let me think. Hang on.
How many of them can you stick penises to?
He's gotta count them.
Let me check down there how many there are.
Well, the only things that I have in my body right now are like this one earring and these 2 rings on my nose. I've taken out way more than
Yeah, see, I found that the cartilage, the side of my nose was the most painful one.
That's a gnarly one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit hurts.
my eyes watered like fuck, but then
I don't think I'd ever have that problem because I've broken my nose and never reset it. So I don't get pain there.
Yeah, I was like, is that it? And I was just like, oh, okay, all right then.
Every time you mention like a taint piercing, I keep getting reminded of the story about the guy who thought he grew a vagina because it got infected.
Oh my God, Chris Chan.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to go to work. I have to go to work soon, so I will leave with this one story that kind of goes in the vein of what Brad said. When I was dicking around one day and accidentally stabbed myself in the hand at the base of my left index finger.
Mm-hmm.
The stab did not hurt, mainly because my knife was sharp as hell. But what actually hurt was the fact that the blood pouring out was also taking part of the nerve and fat with it. And also, it didn't start hurting until I was like trying to wash the water off to get a Band-Aid on it, which I bled through in 3 seconds. But at that point, because I got water inside the the stab wound itself. It actually hit my bone because the knife went all the way to the bone. The only reason it didn't go completely through my hand.
Ouch.
The bone was partially fractured because it was a tanto blade and hit so deep, and the blade tip is permanently bent backwards from my bone.
Why?
Weeb tools alone.
Yeah.
Weeb tools, a pocket knife that I still occasionally carry.
Oh boy.
Yeah, maybe that's not the best idea.
Well,
I was playing around with an actual Swiss Army knife, like just throwing it up and twirling it, and apparently the little screw that held the little scissors that are inside it had come out, and the scissors just went chunk, and just as it landed on my finger, and it just cut into the tendon. That's one of those moments where you go like, no.
I gotta go back to work, so I'll take care now. You hear?
All right, later, buddy.
See you later.
Later.
So
Yeah, see, this is why you don't play with sharp shit.
Well, it was folded in. How was I supposed to know?
Come on, man.
Oh.
Honestly, it's a surprise I've never been seriously injured, considering how many times I've almost maimed myself.
The word $10 difference on cutting yourself with a bunch of knives. Like for instance, most of my knives I got from Boy Scouts were cheap, They were really bad lockback knives, so I ended up cutting my thumbs a lot. But spending an extra $5 or $10, the lockback actually was decent.
I wish I could show you. I got a nice little scar on my index finger. Like it got ripped open. A piranha tore me open because I was being stupid.
Oh,
piranha.
Oh.
What were you doing in the Amazon rainforest?
I was in the Amazon rainforest. I was in the Amazon rainforest. We were fishing for piranha, which are very easy to catch. Just put a little meat on a hook. I poked my finger with the hook, and it was bleeding. So I just put it in the water just to wash it off, and a piranha attacked it.
Oh my God.
Next year, tell me you decided not to pee in the water for one of those urethra fish.
Oh, those things. Yeah, that's an urban myth, legend. So, fortunately,
I still found the story funny.
Yeah, it's scary enough that you go like, no, don't want to risk that.
Yeah, well, a lot of these things are like greatly exaggerated, like the dangers that are actually out there.
Yeah. But if you're actually in piranha waters and you're bleeding, then that's probably a bad idea.
Well, that's
it's probably best not to go into the water.
Well, I mean, is that true though? That they don't do anything until they smell blood?
Yeah, it's blood that drives them into a frenzy.
That's crazy.
Do they attack everything, or they just attack the thing that's bleeding?
They'll just like the blood sets them off, and they'll attack anything that's near the blood.
Cool stuff.
Yeah,
and
they're terrible to eat. They're too bony a fish.
Oh. It's not that you went out of the water like with a piranha.
Stomping away.
There was this friends of mine, and they ended up with a tank full of piranhas as pets. Now, it wasn't originally theirs; it was their roommates, and he kind of had like a mental breakdown. He moved out, and he left his fish behind. And these two friends of mine, they have two little girls. Well, actually, they're not little anymore; they're all grown up now. But when they were much younger, they decided that they were going to give their pet ferret a bath.
Oh no!
Don't piss off the ferret.
Now the thing is, what's fascinating is that the piranha did not, in fact, eat the ferret.
No, that's the other way around.
No. Mustelids produce just such a rank, toxic smell. Like nothing wants to really eat a mustelid. They are fucking disgusting. But no, the ferret drowned, unfortunately.
Oh, poor thing.
Yeah.
Now ferrets are funny animals. I mean, as long as you keep them away from eating meat, they're apparently very docile to handle. Just don't have them nip your fingers.
Or shiny objects. They'll bite your fingers until you give them your redding wings.
Like 1 out of every 20 ferrets is the best pet ever, and the other 19 are assholes.
Absolutely, just like
they're kind of like cats. Yeah,
exactly.
Kind of like cats.
They're worse than cats, though.
Oh yeah,
they're super smart, and really, yeah.
They'll fuck up everything you care about.
Same with cats.
It's a pity they smell so bad. Otherwise, I might get one. But
I got a buddy who's
should have 2, I think, at least.
Yeah, I think you need at least 2 for companionship.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they get lonely. But a friend of mine's got 2, and he keeps them outside.
Yeah, I can't do that here.
Is that the same with guinea pigs? Don't guinea pigs need a
Yeah,
but a lot of those animals do.
Rats.
Yeah.
Otherwise they get depressed.
Can I just say for a second here? I really like rats.
I like rats too. I think rats are legit smart animals. They're really good pets. Really
they're like
good
tiny.
pets.
They're like tiny cats.
Yeah, they really are.
I think a cat would argue with that.
I can agree domestically, but I've crawled in enough attics at this point now. I'm an apprentice electrician that I found enough dead rats biting the wires, and I hate them. I hate them because
they're actually kind of tasty.
Nice too.
I have to go up in a 140-degree attic and do some bullshit to make a J-box. And I go up there, and I have to dispose of the dead rat, and it smells awful.
They're actually quite tasty, so don't rule that out.
Rat on the stick.
Oh, here's a good story. My sister's a very picky eater, and when we were kids, my dad made this joke. He had this yellow casserole with beef, chicken, and just beef, chicken, and this yellow rice casserole. And she didn't know what the chicken looked like because it was a very brown color. And he joked with her. He's like, "It's rat meat," and she would never eat that casserole for years. And every time I looked at her, I get the biggest pieces and eat them and look her straight in the eye. I'm like, tasty rat meat. She looked at me and she's like,
Yeah, rat's tasty. Guinea pig's pretty tasty.
What do they taste like?
Apparently, yeah.
Tasty.
A parrot? Is a parrot close to chicken or what? I mean, it's a bird.
Yeah. Most birds aren't too bad.
How about snake?
Snake tastes like
I'm not a
chicken.
big fan of snake.
Snake tastes like chicken.
So when I was living in Panama, Central America, we had this whenever we'd have football games and whatnot at the high school. There's always this one Panamanian dude, and he'd be sitting at the corner, and he'd be barbecuing up these skewers of meat. And he sold them for $1 a skewer, and he got his long skewer, lots of meat on it. It was a good fucking deal, and it was delicious. I can never figure out what the fuck it was. Like, is it beef? Is it what is this? But every week, I would go down there. I didn't really give a shit about the football, but I would go down there just to eat that dude's meat, the street skewers, right? That sounds weird, but anyway,
not gonna say anything, but okay.
After 4 or 5 weeks of this, eventually I'm like, señor, ¿qué es? ¿Estás carne? And he says, no, señor, estás rato. And I'm like, and I asked him, I'm like, rato? And he's like, no, rato. I'm like, oh, shit. Panamanian sewer rat. This Panamanian sewer rats that he was cutting up and frying up.
Sewer rats.
So
it was so good. I kept eating it. yeah, he's cooking scavens.
No. Now the question is, depending on the sewer that he fishes these rats from, I wonder if their taste changes.
That reminds me, the Chaos Star tattoos you have, are those Warhammer things or just Chaos Star things?
I love Warhammer, but I mean, yeah, just it's chaos. Yeah.
Dude, we need to play Warhammer 2 sometime. Stream an entire campaign.
Total War Warhammer?
Just released. Total War Warhammer 2. Just released Thursday.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I maybe
23 hours into one campaign on my own.
I have Warhammer Total War, and it's pretty good. I like it a lot. But the thing is, it's still fantasy, and I really want a 40K version. And it's driving me crazy that we don't have it yet.
Yeah, it's a pity. Yeah, if they make a Warhammer or a 40K version of Total War, oh gods. Yeah.
That could be amazing.
Yeah, it does look legitimately fucking good. Like, really, really good.
I mean, I've got 24 hours so far into it, and it's released on Thursday.
That's wild.
I'm playing the Lizardmen. I haven't gotten around to trying the Skaven yet. The High Elves, they really bummed me out because there's you have 8 different units you can get, and that's it. That's their entire roster. 8? It is so disappointing. It's disappointingly low. It's probably not 8, but it feels so limited. But
is that really everything that there's in the game for the High Elves?
Well, the thing is, there's a lot of variations of the same unit.
No, not in.
I was gone for a moment. What game were we talking about?
Total War Warhammer 2.
Okay, never mind. That's not my universe. Sorry.
Hashtag not my universe.
Well, I never got into it. I was a huge WoW guy for a while, and then then Pandaland came out. I kind of lost interest until the last expansion.
No, it was WoW.
I was a Warcraft 3 guy, and then WoW came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly, I never could get into World of Warcraft. I honestly, I wanted to. I really, really wanted to, but I was playing Star Wars Galaxies at the time, and I played that game the
Oh,
whole
yeah.
way through, the entire
That was
time.
good.
And WoW was boring by comparison to that. It was just dull.
Back then, I really enjoyed Lich King. I have to say
Yeah.
this expansion is so much better than the last two expansions, mostly because of the Demon Hunter. The only thing my only problem with the Demon Hunter, and that's more of a personal thing, is that the Demon Hunter has two classes, Havoc and Vengeance. And Vengeance is a tank, while Havoc is a DPS class. But my thing with him being Vengeance being a tank is that its tank style is all about parry. It's a parry tank, which makes no sense to me versus the warrior who's all about I'm gonna have the best armor and I'm gonna block everything. But it's a parry tank, so I'm sitting here. I'm like, so your reaction time is so good that you can redirect every attack.
Hmm.
I don't know. Maybe I'm a bit of a purist, but I just find that concept just dumb. Because he doesn't do a lot of damage. I mean, if your reaction time is that good, you just be able to just stomp the enemy. But the damage compared to the Havoc is nothing. In Havoc, I'm stomping fools. Like there's nothing.
Well, I don't know. I've played various MMOs in the course of many years by now, but usually like the WoW community is also not particularly conducive to like casual players a lot of the time.
Yeah, a hardcore raid is like is where all the
It's where it's
focus
at.
is. Yeah.
And there's a lot of
way.
Yeah, but there's a lot of games that actually have much more like much more friendly communities out just in general, and
Guild Wars
that really
2.
a point.
No.
For instance, well,
I have to disagree on Guild Wars 2. The game itself has like the actual company for Guild Wars 2 has switched the focus from PvE to PvP, which sounds. I mean, it's varying, but the thing is that I last played Guild Wars 2 about 2.5, 3 years ago, and the PvE and the PvP were equal. They had huge focuses on both of them, and then right after I quit, they did nothing but PvP, and so literally it was just that toxic community that is related with PvP came out more. But my guild back then, PvE and PvP, were like, "Hey man, we're gonna grow up and do everything." And so the thing with most with MMOs, it's the guild you get related to. It's just that little niche you find for yourself.
well, I guess, but there's also like I've played, for instance, Final Fantasy 14 for a bit, and just the change in just how people in general just like approach new players is really quite different from my experience in WoW, where basically nobody really cared. If you were expected to know your shit, and if you didn't, get the fuck out. And even in Final Fantasy 14, it seemed like people were way more willing to explain stuff to you. But maybe that's just the experience on the particular server or something. I don't know.
No, I don't know. I understand your story right there. I played a lot, like every now and again, whenever a new expansion comes out, I play a lot of WoW. Maybe I'm just a completely different player, but whenever I come across people, minus hunters, I hate hunters. I hate all hunters. Your fucking pet taunts, I'm gonna kill you. Okay, because I'm always a tank though. But any other class, I've played about every class minus the druid, and so whenever you're hurting or something like that, I always help you out. I always do that. But I have heard people who just say "GG, get out," and which is kind of sad. But normally when I'm in there though, if I see you struggling, I help you out. Because I mean, you help. Like, if I help you out, make you a better hunter, or I make you a better warlock, whatever it is, you help out that raid group overall. And so that's my thought. Because if I make you a better DPS, we're like, hey man, you need to focus a little bit more on your soulfire or your incinerates. It just makes the DPS a little bit better. Sort of situation. you do better makes the group do better, and so I try to help out. But I have heard that it's kind of toxic, where it's because you're able to just instantaneously get a group, and like for dungeons and for raids, and which was nice. But I also feel like this double-edged sword with.
So I was just browsing around here real quick, and I just came to realize that there is a, what is it called? Batman Arkham VR. There's a fucking VR game.
I checked it out. Yeah, I checked out the video for that. Yeah.
What?
It's actually funny. Well, the video you can actually see people like getting excited about it. One of them actually is a guy with Down syndrome, and I'm like, really? Is that the kind of review you want?
Oh no!
It kind of sounds shitty, but
no, I hear you.
It's great.
Oh man, that's
kind of sad.
That's crazy. Holy shit!
But yeah, it does look interesting.
Yeah, I'm a junkie for VR. Like I fucking play with this thing damn near every day. If I get a chance to. That's weird. You see those dots on it?
Yeah. That's the IR lens.
Legit.
I can't see those. I can't see those with my eye.
No, you can't. Weird. That's infrared. That's the infrared ones. The controllers have them as well.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and not all cameras can actually see it. If you use an iPhone, the regular, like the front camera, it needs to be activated. So you might have to press the button. So
is VR really good?
Yeah, there you go. I think there are
videos on YouTube. I'm a huge lurker, but thinking of it right now, I'm not going to shell out that 500 to 1,000.
Oh yeah,
it's along the rim, like on the side of it.
Yeah, that is crazy, dude. Is funny, VR worth it? Is VR worth it? I tell you what. I was fully intending to pay the $400 for the Oculus plus the touch controllers because it was on sale for $400. I didn't end up having to do that, but having experienced this thing, I would have paid the $400 just easily. Would I pay $800 for it? No, I would not.
No. Agreed. It's really the experience that's really one of the things. I mean, one of the problems I have with the Rift is that the DPI is just a tad too low for it to be really convincing. I can see the pixels of the actual screen within.
I think they have the same. I think it's the same DPI as the Vive, though, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so. And it's just I know why they did it because on one hand it's the cost of the unit that you have to make it affordable, and on the other you've got the rendering because you're already rendering two screens at the same time basically. And if you up that resolution even more, even less computers can handle this, and then your market share is going to plummet.
Give it a few years.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole thing with the actual hardware itself. But the experience itself, just the intro with the little robot that you have to press the lid and it wakes up and it flies around the trailer thing. That in itself is just fantastic. The kind of immersion that you get is really, really cool, and the games that do it as well.
Well, I'm waiting for the VR headset that goes with the VR vagina.
Oh my!
Japan has that for you.
I'm gonna call it.
So the thing that I don't like about the Oculus Rift is that my data cable right now for it is apparently busted. Yeah, the headset, the cable that connects to the Oculus Rift.
Yeah.
The headset. Yeah, I'm apparently having problems with that. Yes.
Ah, that's a pity. Well, it's pretty sturdy. What happened?
I think that's gone bad because like my headset would constantly disconnect.
I mean, the only problem I have with connections in regards to VR is I have actually breached my data limit on the USB ports.
Oh no!
I have 4 free USB 3.0 ports that I can't use because I am
Where's Kool-Aid Man when and it's like, oh yeah.
Wait.
Oh yeah.
Well, what happened? I mean, why does it? Why does it do that? I mean,
there's a hard limit to the data you can put through USB. That's it.
Okay.
It varies on the motherboard, And apparently, I've just
You have too many USB plugins.
no, not
Yeah,
really.
you can't daisy chain those, or they'll act up.
Well,
Not
you plug them in
anything-
the USB 3 ports, I guess.
Yeah, or
Sorry,
you got to make sure you're putting them in. If you're gonna daisy chain, you have to do multiple ports.
That's a bad idea. Yeah, no. If you plug the two sensors into the USB 3 ports, then I think it should be fine. But then if it isn't,
No,
that's probably a limit on the main board itself. But
yeah. That's it's the motherboard that's just limiting it. It's just
that's a
not
pain.
getting through. But I mean, like, if I want to play anything VR, I have to unplug one of my monitors, and I have to
That
unplug
sucks.
things.
Well,
That's really weird, man.
yeah,
That's really
that's
weird.
one thing that I
just-
really am annoyed with VR, and that's a Steam thing. Steam keeps fucking up my controllers. I don't know if you've used anything like DCS or Elite Dangerous. If you try to use that with a joystick.
Mm-hmm.
But what it does is Steam VR apparently prioritizes the controllers, or like their own Steam controller.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
it forces it into Steam VR, and whatever I have as a joystick, it'll just fucking really ignore the joystick. It'll tell it it's offline, even though I have it plugged in. And so I've got this whole setup with the pedals and like a throttle handle and a joystick, and it'll say it's offline. So you have to run that outside of Steam. That's a real pain. I mean, like, why can't you just switch that off?
I don't know, man. That's really, really strange.
Yeah, but that's a Valve thing, not so much the VR. So you can't
What do
put
you
that
play
on.
that you need that joystick for?
What?
What do you play that you need that joystick for?
Well, Morty?
Elite Dangerous, really? Without a joystick?
Yeah, you gotta have a joystick for for Elite Dangerous.
Yeah.
I've never played Elite and Dangerous. I've always seen it, but I've never really been up.
Oh, I love it. It's the only thing is like it's really great in VR, but there's one thing that makes me violently ill, and that's driving a rover on planets. That's like you've got this sort of moon buggy, or more like one of the rovers that's on Mars, except with you inside it. And at some point, I was getting shot at by a ship that, admittedly, I wrecked their base, so I tried to flee, drove into a canyon, and then the ship started shooting at me, and I'm trying to avoid it. But the entire canyon is just pointy rocks, so you're going like this and this and this all the time, and your sensory organs are just going nuts because you don't feel gravity, because up is somewhere there at some point and then there, and you just get ill. You start sweating like crazy.
The reason why you keep getting sick on the ground.
I'm always like,
whoa.
like holding out for the release date, but I'm hearing recently that people are pulling out.
For
like,
what?
Elite and Dangerous. I'm always holding out like alphas or something like that to finish.
No.
For a game,
Elite
but
is,
for Elite and Dangerous, I'm hearing people are pulling out, like their support, like 400K just got pulled out from them.
No. You're thinking about Star Citizen probably.
No.
Yeah.
I follow
Elite is out. I mean,
yeah, Elite's done. Elite's
there's an
completely
expansion
released.
already, and maybe for additional stuff.
Yeah, Elite's
Star
been
Citizen
released.
is still an alpha, and that is kind of.
Yeah, I think it was Star Citizen because Elite Dangerous is completely out and done.
I heard recently they got the
what
whole
is Star
universe
Citizen
thing
again?
out.
What's Star Citizen again?
It's hard to explain. It was originally supposed to be it was supposed to basically be like a dogfighting sim, but also a more like open world MMO-ish kind of vibe. It's supposed to be the next big EVE Online. And then they also wanted to take it from ships to stations to actually people like being able to interact and make their own fucking like living quarters, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they just have not produced enough for the amount of time that they've taken to make it. So yeah. And it's too bad. It's a daring concept, but it does not look like it's gonna work.
Yeah, it's also made by the guy who made Wing Commander series and
Freelancer.
Freelancer. Starlancer.
Honestly?
So Chris Roberts is really, and he seems like such a nice guy who really seems to have the best intentions for it.
But he just
it's
Peter
like,
Molyneux.
Yeah, and it's feature creep. I mean, when they've got all this money coming in, they went like, oh, we can actually do this. Not just like, oh, we've got all these ideas. No, they could actually do it with all that money, but it's going to take a decade to make this shit, and it's not working out for them. They've had to basically remake the entire physics engine, or the entire game engine, basically, from the CryEngine that they used to the point that they are now. And even then, you run into bandwidth issues because their network code isn't up to spec. It's just they run into all these issues because they've got all this massive amount of detail in this engine, and they're demanding so much from it that you kind of go like, really, is this going to work at some point? I wish it was. I really wish it was, because it looks fantastic, and I played some of it. The ships handle fantastic. You can actually get out, get into a space station, and just push a button, get back to your ship, and then fly away again. That's a great idea.
I really wish it could have worked. I really
Some of the
do.
ships you can even actually like get out and walk around in.
Yeah, yeah, you can. I've had that. A friend of mine has like a medium-sized ship, like a cargo bay. Yeah, it's a Constellation. He's Connie. And I was actually stuck in it at some point because it bugged out, and my character model was just spread out like the standard.
Wow.
And another guy actually got into the my friend got out of the ship. Another guy climbed into the ship, got into the cargo bay, closed the hatch so my friend couldn't get in, and he was just staring at me. He's like, "What are you doing here?" And I'm just standing there, and I was like, "I can't move." And he hijacked the ship, so he hijacked the ship with me in it. So that idea is fantastic, except it's just not working out, and that's a real pity because it looks great and all the ships look really fantastic. But at that point, Eve is much more, or not Eve, sorry, Elite is actually mostly done, and that's actually a game to play.
Yeah, like something like that's only going to really happen if they like started like something very basic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you need to make something that actually gives players content within a certain amount of time, and they've just it's not working. It's just not working. Even though maybe it like from a developer point of view, it will at some point.
Developer updates.
Hmm?
They have a section on their site where they're very real frequent on saying what they're working on right now.
Yeah, they're very consistent with that, and that's very admirable. I mean, that's really cool that they keep doing that. But it doesn't mean we still don't have a game 4 years later. Yeah,
it's very, very frustrating.
it is.
It really
I've got a pre-order in it, so.
How much did you pay in your pre-order?
Oh no, not too much. I knew this was a risk, so I should check. I think it's around $100, something like that.
Ooh,
not too bad.
This is like
it's a risky take, and I knew that. But a friend of mine, who has the Connie, oh god, he put a lot more money into that.
I mean, you're not one of those people that put like bought one of those $5,000 packages.
No.
$10,000 packages.
At least you're not like trying to still wait for Half-Life 3.
But there's like a bunch of people that I play PlanetSide 2 with. Actually, we're playing tonight in a few hours. They said once Star Citizen comes out, they're like looking to switch the entire PlanetSide 2 outfit over to that game.
That's a big risk, though. I mean, yes, was it not Space Marine? Star Marine is the first-person shooter section that they've got going for it. That looks interesting, but it doesn't have if it's done the way they want it to be done, then yes, they can switch over. But at the moment,
I'm
not
about
nearly
Star
enough
Citizen
content
in general. Star Citizen itself.
I do miss playing PlanetSide 2, but I don't think I'll ever go back to playing it again, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like it was a great game and I liked it a lot. It just never really I even spent real life money on PlanetSide 2 quite a few times.
It always just feels like it was lacking in some fundamental way.
Yeah, it never got as good as PlanetSide 1 did before they fucked PlanetSide 1 all up.
Yeah.
With BFRs. Fucking BFRs, dude. That's when the whole thing got fucked up.
So everyone in the group, though, like, what's y'all's stance on early access games?
Sometimes they get misused.
As long as you like, early access is one of those things where you have to look at the thing, and if it's always a risk you take, and if you put money in it, that's on you. You don't start complaining to the developers too much. I mean, yes, some of them are really, really shady, but
they really have to be upfront with whether or not they're guaranteeing you like an end product.
Yeah, and some of them have worked out. I mean, look at in my case, Kerbal Space Program is fantastic. I really like Space Engineers.
My big example.
PUBG is good, but
yeah.
Huh?
Oh, my big example is Starbound. Oh, I love Starbound.
I haven't played it actually.
I mega recommend it. It's one of the normal top 10 games. But my big thing with Starbound with a lot of games is the mods sort of fill in the gaps for the game. And really the big mod you need for Starbound is Bracken Universe. They fill in all of the little stuff. So for instance, with Starbound, it's huge on exploration. And so I want to see this new planet, or because most of them you go to different planets, I want to see a new planet, like something crazily different. And with Bracken Universe, it adds all kinds of not just different planets. Like for instance, like the concept of the planet is wildly different. Like, for instance, you go to an all-metal planet, so literally everything there are robots, dead civilization. The whole planet seems like it was, from top to the core, was civilized at some point.
Okay.
Yeah. And so literally, core out, where people were in it, it was man-made materials, sort of thing. And
it's basically Terraria in space.
Right. By the way, Jeff, it was
I think it's much better.
By the way, the Star Citizen thing, it's $133 for the F7C Hornet.
Yeah,
that's the one I got.
That's rough, man.
That's
rough.
just at the point where you're going like, yeah, this is about the kind of money I might be willing to risk on this, but even like the Constellation is $330 actually. So.
Yeah.
But I figure the cost of a game is usually like $60.
Yeah, exactly.
You're paying that much. You're paying that much extra for the ship.
Yeah, and you got to look at something and that's difficult because you got to be familiar with how games are made, but you got to look at what is attainable for a lot of these games. Star Citizen is very, very high up in what's attainable, and it's really difficult. A lot of other games I don't know, a lot of more basic early access games, something like Kerbal Space Program already had the basis of a good game within it.
Yeah,
and then
it's like one basic mechanic or set of mechanics. It's just taken to the extreme with what it can be done with it.
Yeah. Yeah, and if the base mechanics are fun to play with, it's a sound investment. Even if you don't even if they don't produce the entire thing that they promised, if the actual the experience in the beginning was already fun, well, it could be worse.
How do your tits feel, Jeff?
Not bad, not bad. At this point,
hi, man.
It's a little tender. It's not too terribly bad. This is actually healing a lot better than most tattoos I've gotten. I honestly think it's because of the tattoo artist. Not even really because of the location or anything. This dude fucking knew exactly how to tattoo my skin and modify his technique for different parts. Like up here, he went super fast because it hurts like a motherfucker on your sternum. So he went super fast and he didn't go too deep, so he didn't blow it out. And then when he had to come out here onto my pec, he went deeper and got the ink into the softer tissue. So
did you save the blood?
Huh?
So did you save your tit blood?
One at a time.
Go ahead.
Nobody.
Go on.
All right, I'll say it. The dude sounds like a freaking artist.
Yeah, he is. He really is. He's a wonderful painter too. Like his whole cubicle is full of these awesome paintings of Buddha, and I'm like, wow, these are fucking great, man. Who did them? And he looked at me and he's like,
me.
I fucking did them, man. I'm like, what? This is crazy.
Was this the guy that you've been chasing for all that time, or
No. Sadly, I still couldn't get him to do it. No.
Pity.
So did you say
imagine?
Why? Is he on the other side of the planet?
What's up?
Did you
Is he on
say-
the other side of the planet?
Yeah.
He went all Doctor Strange and like had to go to a monastery to do it.
Oh, fun fact on that: there's a mountain in the Everest area that you need to climb for the specific tattoo artist, and he's so good. But the thing is that when you see him, depending on like his like Buddhist like mentality at the moment, he chooses the tattoo on you on the body part. So really, you make a trip up there for the tattoo, but he chooses where it goes and what it is, and it's just that good.
No.
Okay.
I don't think any
risk.
tattoo is that good.
Well, I mean, it's sort of like Buddhist religious, though.
So if he feels that you're kind of an asshole, he's gonna go like on your dick, this thing.
So I'm browsing through Steam games and whatnot. Unfortunately, this one's only in early access right now, and I'm not. I don't think it's even really playable except as like a demo. But there's a game that's going to be coming out that is basically VR. It's like I guess what it would be. It's a fighting game. It's like a VR fighting game, but you're a massively tall Pacific Rim style robot. You're in a giant mech.
A mech fighting?
Yeah,
a mech fighting? That's awesome.
It's called Iron Power.
The next level of gaming is probably going to be like a really super interactive, well done VR zombie survival game.
When does Mortal Kombat VR come out?
Oh, ghost, that's.
I'm still waiting for the holodeck.
You're fucking holodeck. I'm waiting for SAO level immersion coming out, man.
That's gonna be fun.
Dot hack sign immersion.
Oh, yeah.
You get stuck in the
then
game.
You get stuck in because you're so depressed with real life. Yeah. Dot hack sign. I really like that one, by the way. Yeah.
I like the first one, not some of the other ones too much.
No, I couldn't get into that either.
But I'm gonna have to drop out. The whip is called.
Or you'll end up in Persona.
What? Okay, see you later, by the way.
Have a good one, man. Good to see you.
Bye.
Did you say persona or fursona? That's a big difference.
I said Persona.
What?
I said Persona, as in person.
Oh, okay.
Not
yeah, I don't know what you're into. Maybe.
As far as space games go, though, the one I've been kind of trying to get back into recently is Space Engineers, but that one's just terrible single player.
I don't know. I'm a sucker for just wasting time like that and building random shit. But the multiplayer was horribly broken last year.
Oh yeah, it was bad. But they've made it a lot better.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they did a few overhauls.
Okay.
If it's before the time I'm thinking of.
Well, they got a couple of really big updates in the meantime.
Was what you're thinking of like before or after Planets?
Climates. Well, they
okay.
no,
yeah, they have Planets now.
Oh, planets. Yeah, no, after Planets. Yeah.
Oh.
I thought you said climate, and then like climate. No, planets. Yeah, no, we already had planets.
Yeah.
No, the one space game I got really into for a while was Sator.
Oh, Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Yeah, that one's addicting as fuck.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I don't know, man. It's honestly MMOs are ruined for me. Star Wars Galaxies ruined most MMOs for me. Guild Wars 2 I liked for a while, but then they wanted me to pay full price, like $60 for the expansion. I just fuck that.
Suck a dick.
Yeah.
But after that, I'm just done, man. I'm just done. What I want. What I really, I'll tell you what I want. What I really, really want. What I want.
So tell me what you want. What you really want.
I want Project Sansar to be the next big thing. I want them to make it basically Second Life 2.0, and I will be very happy. Now, Second Life now is trash, and it's just disgusting. But what it was and what it represented was so fucking cool. If they could make it even more tightly understood and coherent and VR simulation game, I would fucking live there. It would be fucking great.
I want Ultima Online to be great again.
No, that's.
I mean, I kept buying at the time
make
what they
Ultima great again.
Yeah, at the time they actually had Ultima Online Second Age boxes in the stores, and you could apparently. It's been so long, but apparently you could enter the code and then get like a week of time or some or of playtime.
No, I only played on like private servers.
Oh well, no, but
servers.
I kept buying the boxes because it was cheaper because they didn't sell that shit anymore. So they kept pricing the boxes cheaper than actual subscription fee.
Nice.
So I ended up with like a stack of boxes in my living room. I was like, okay, this has to go.
What's up, Nick? How you doing, man?
What's going on?
Hello.
I'm in beautiful Asheville, North Carolina for a friend of mine's wedding, and I saw you guys were still online.
Yeah.
Nice. We're gonna go offline, but we're gonna keep hanging out here. So to everybody out there watching, ow fuck! I hit my fucking bitch.
Good outro.
Yeah. Thanks so much. This has been the September series of Patreon reward hangout thingy. Blah 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 blah. Have a great fucking day. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.
See you later.